Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be making a TBR jar. You can see I've got a few different things here. I've got my Kindle to help me look through all the samples I've downloaded. I have my reading journal because I have a few different things that I put on my wish list. And then I also have my Goodreads account, and so I'm going to use that to kind of combine everything because I feel like whenever it's time to find my next book, I'm constantly looking through all of these different things and trying to decide. And I'm also a lover of many different genres. I'm going to use a different colored piece of paper for each genre. I'm going to make a little key and stick it on my TBR jar so it's all decorated. I just got that off of Amazon. And please do subscribe if you want more book vlogs. I really want to say how much I appreciate all the love on my last vlog. It was kind of a little bit new for me, a little bit nerve-wracking, but I absolutely loved doing it and I loved interacting with all of you. And a couple of people said they would love to see me make a TBR jar. I was possibly going to get a TBR cart like a lot of people have on booktube, but then I decided I'm really just a Kindle person through and through, so it's easier for me to make a jar and then pick what I'm going to read from the jar next. This is what I'm reading right now, so subscribe if you would like to see the vlog of me reading this. It's part of the "this video ends when I find a 5-star book," and so far the video has not ended, so we'll see if this is the 5-star or not. Feel free to give me any suggestions for books that I should put in my TBR jar, because I'm always open to suggestions, whether they're old, new releases, tons of different genres. I'll show you what colors I'm going to use and how I'm going to label this. So you can see I've got different colored pens, I've got scissors, I've got tape, I've got coffee because that's an essential. And let's get going. So first I need to pick which color paper I'm going to use for each genre of books. So these might not be the neatest cuts ever. I'll clean them up a little bit, but I decided to use purple for fantasy. I'm going to use pink for romance. I'm not the biggest, like just straight up romance reader, but sometimes I do like a good romance or two. Usually mine ends up being like romantasy, but I decided to make a category just so I have it. I can already tell this is gonna be a pretty interesting cleanup because I'm gonna have so many little scraps, but that's okay. It's part of the journey. I think I'll use yellow for thrillers and mysteries. To be honest, these are the three main genres that I read. I sometimes read sci-fi, I sometimes read historical fiction, so I think I'm just going to make green the other category, and if I feel like I'm enjoying other genres even more, then I will just add a color later. So now that I have my 4 categories, I'm going to actually tape them to my jar so that I remember what the key is. Okay, this is honestly a lot harder to tape these and not bump the camera and do it with like one hand while I'm holding this to make it look nice while I'm filming it. So if I look like I'm a crazy person while I'm taping these on, I'm just trying to make it look good for the camera. And honestly, it's harder than expected, but this is already looking so cute. And if you're watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish that I had my own TBR jar and don't have one already, feel free to go get your supplies and make this with me, or maybe just watch this video again once you have your supplies, and feel free to use some of my suggestions. And again, please comment with any suggestions below that I should add to mine. Okay, I absolutely love this so far. I feel like I should make a little label that says TBR jar, so let's do that. And the genre that I read the most is fantasy, so I'm gonna make that label in purple. Again, the tape looks a little crazy, but honestly, I think it kind of adds to just like the crafty vibe. So I'm not too worried about it being completely perfect. So now that we have the jar ready, I'm gonna go through and I'm just going to start writing titles on my different genres, and then we'll cut them out and I will show you that whole process. First, I need some coffee. I accidentally made the one with the caffeine boost this morning, so if I start talking or writing extremely fast, you know why. Oh, and I'm only adding titles that I would be really, really, really happy to read, because I feel like I could even have a backup jar where I'm not entirely, like I could read it, but right now I'm only adding books to the jar that if I pulled that out of the jar, I would be thrilled to death to read it. And some of these will depend on when the loan from Libby appears on my Kindle. I'll put a little preview of like what it looks like when you're waiting for books on the side over here. But some of it will depend on when Libby is ready for me to read those. So I think I'm still gonna put them on here, and then if Libby isn't ready, then I will just put them back in the jar. But most of the ones on Libby, that's kind of funny because Libby is like its own TBR jar in a way, because it's like whenever it shows up, I guess I better be ready to read it. And sometimes I'm not ready to read it. Like sometimes I put it on hold when I am ready to read it, and then by the time it comes up, like weeks or months later, I'm just not ready. So sometimes I have to delay that a little bit, and that's okay. I'll just let other people have it, and then I can read it when I'm feeling the vibe. I don't think I'm gonna put the author on these because I feel like it'll take me way too long to write them all out. So I think I'll just put the title, and then I will just know. I'm also going to denote when it is a Kindle Unlimited book, because I just think that would be nice to know. Like this one, I know I have on Libby. Maybe I should put that on there. But then this one, I know that I have it on Kindle Unlimited if needed. Some of them I won't know just because I'm just writing them down quickly. But if I see on my Kindle that, for example, I've got Heartless Hunter, and I know that one's coming from Libby in like a week. And then I've got Alchemists of Loom, which the cover just looked really cool on Kindle Unlimited. So then you can see like I'm gonna do Serpent and the Wings of Night series. That one's on Kindle Unlimited. And so is the Guild series. I think Guild is the first one. I am going to make sure that I put that on there so that I'm aware of what I have all the time, since I always have access to Kindle Unlimited books. And if you want me to do another video on Kindle Unlimited or Kindle Unlimited features, feel free, or you could go watch one of my other Kindle videos. It's really nice because sometimes there are books, like I was at Target the other day and I even vlogged it. So again, subscribe if you want to see that because it's not out yet at the time that I'm filming this, but it will be very soon. So I was filming this vlog at Target and I actually walked out with 2 books only to find out in the car that they were on Kindle Unlimited. And so then I went back and returned them because as pretty as they are, they were like $40 total. And I was like, you know what? I already have them on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm just gonna keep it on there. And if I love it, I'll buy the book as a trophy later because I do that sometimes. So I will just make sure I label which ones are Kindle Unlimited books so I know. Actually, I'm gonna take this little pop socket guy off so I can lay my Kindle. Oh, actually, you know what I can do? I always forget that I have this cute little stand. This is a game changer. I also vlogged myself creating this little invention in my last book vlog. You just have to make sure that you spin it around so it stands upright. And there you go. So that will make life so much easier. I forgot I had that. There I was, just struggling along. Okay, I'm putting Bride on there only because I abandoned it, but now I'm just hearing all these amazing things and I kind of want to read it. So I'm putting Bride on there. I am waiting for it on Libby. So that one we'll have to see when it comes up. Okay, this one, What the River Knows, I tried to start that one. I got a little bit stuck. I don't know what genre to put that one in. That one's like almost magical realism, but it seems like it has elements of fantasy, but it's also a mystery because she's trying to find her parents. So I'm just gonna put that one in other. There are some that I'm just gonna put in other because I feel like they fit in multiple categories. So I'm just gonna put that one in other, I think. So I keep seeing that for Once Upon a Broken Heart, you need to read her other series, Caraval. Do I really need to read Caraval? Someone who has read this, let me know, but I keep seeing people are saying that I won't understand fully what's going on in Once Upon a Broken Heart if I don't read Caraval. So please let me know if that is the case and I do need to read that before I read Once Upon a Broken Heart. I'm running out of space on this piece of paper, and I know that a lot of these are romantasy. I'm fully aware that something like Brandon Sanderson or Garth Nix or Patrick Rothfuss would probably be more like full fantasy, but I am counting these as my version of fantasy, but I do like to obviously throw more fantasy that's not romantasy in there at times, but these are the ones that I'm looking forward to reading right now. Like if I pulled them out of the jar, I'd be so happy to have any of these. I've got a few more that I need to find though. Okay, so for example, for A Day of Fallen Night, I know that one comes second, so I'm actually gonna put a 2 next to that one because I need to read The Priory of the Orange Tree before I read that. It looks like my hold for that is gonna come up sooner, but I'm just gonna put that in there so in case I get this one first, I will remember to put it back if I haven't read The Priory of the Orange Tree before that. Okay, also I've been hearing so many things about Jennifer L. Armentrout. Someone tell me, is it the Of Blood and Ash? Is it the follow, like which book, which series is that? I haven't looked into it, but I keep hearing that people are not happy with the way that that series turned out. Also, I just got a suggestion for this one on Goodreads this morning, but it's not out until March 26th. So I'm gonna put the release date on it so that way in case I pick it up before March 26th, I will know that it just hasn't come out yet. Also, just a cool feature about the Kindle app, I have it on my iPad right now, but you can just use it on your phone, is that it tells you your streaks of how many weeks in a row and days in a row you have been reading. So I clearly don't want to break my streak. And then it will also give you suggestions based on what you have read before. And it's really nice because it's just kind of like your own customizable library. And then a ton of them are just available for you on Kindle Unlimited right away. And then let's look at my list to see what I already have in my Kindle Unlimited section, because you can have up to 30 at a time, I think. And right now I just keep them in there until I'm ready to read them, kind of as another TBR jar. So let's add some of these. I think a lot of them are already in here. I feel like I'm honestly going to think of so many more of these and then add them, but that's okay because this is quite a list for now. So let's cut these up. Okay, these are getting a little funky because I really should have left more space, but it's okay. We'll still know what it is. Now let's start folding them up and putting them in the jar. I kind of just want to read this one next, so maybe I should just leave it out. Oh, cute. You got to see my Kindle do the little, like that's the idle screen when you haven't read for a little while. That's what shows up. Okay, should I just leave this one out? I kind of want to read this one next. I might leave it out. And if I pick any of these out and I decide I actually don't want to read them at that time, I'll just put them back in the jar because I know the TBR jar is supposed to tell me what to read, obviously, but I just don't really want to read books that I might like another time, but I just want to do not finish at that time because I'm not in the mood. So that's also why I put the genres, so that way I can pick which color I want and whatever I'm in the mood for at the time. Or I can just let the jar tell me. Maybe that's cheating that I'm picking genres. we're putting them back, but I think we should only be reading books that we really want to read, and I don't think it's fair to the authors that maybe we would like it another time if we picked it up when we were in a different mood, but maybe we just weren't in the mood for it. So I don't really believe in forcing yourself to read books if you're not fully wanting to at the time. So I think this is more just an idea jar of like what fate might have me read, but I'm still going to have some free will. I also really want to read Powerless, so that one I might have to find, or like say I just really want to read a book, I can definitely skip the jar and bypass, and then if I just find it later, then I've read it later. But I think these will be really cute because I kind of want to tape these into my reading journal when I read the book, so it's just kind of cool that I'll have that in there as well. So it'll be more like a little scrapbook. We're finally done with fantasy. As you can see, this is my main genre that I read. So now let's go ahead and let's move on to romance and thrillers and suspense / mystery / other. I'm just gonna get a color of paper and do these all at the same time because they will probably have as many together as fantasy does by itself. Let's do thrillers first. I feel like this is gonna confuse me actually, now that we're into it. Let's just do thrillers first. Thrillers and mystery and suspense. Why do I feel like these are not all of the books that ooh, did I put Trial of the Sun Queen on there for fantasy? I don't think I did. I'm gonna add that. Okay, now I'm just adding a bunch more, but I didn't leave myself very much space. I really could have sworn that I had different ones on here. Let me refresh. Let's see. I guess not. Interesting. Okay, it'll be fine. Okay, this one, The Disappearance of Astrid Bricard. I don't know if that's thriller or mystery, but since it's a disappearance, I'm just gonna put it on this one. Same thing with the inheritance games. I don't really know if it's like sci-fi or dystopian or whatever, but if it's just like not of this world, I'm either gonna put it in fantasy or other just because I don't want to have 1,000 categories. So that is what I'm choosing for that one. I really want to read None of This Is True as well. See, I have favorites, so that's why this is going to be kind of hard, but I am allowed to bypass. If there's something on here that you haven't seen me write down that you're like screaming at me to write down, please, please, please let me know because I would love to add to these. I think I'm going to have just like maybe a dish of these next to my TBR jar so I can add them at any time and not have to just recut every time I want to add. We'll figure that out in a little bit here. This one was highly suggested to me by my friend Julie. Thanks, Julie, for that. Okay, I actually think Archer's Voice is a romance. Okay, both of these are romances. Okay, actually all three of these are romances. Darn, okay. I forgot about my colors. Okay, and it seems like The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy might be, but I'm not totally sure. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna put Argyle over here because I don't know. Taylor Swift, is that you? And if you want to follow me on Goodreads or be my friend, I'll link it below in case you want to see what I'm reading. And some of these I have on my to be read list, but I don't really want to read them right this moment, so I'm going to leave them off until I'm ready for them. I just remembered that I never read the second book in this series of Defy the Night. I do not remember what the second one is called. So I read Defy the Night, Defend the Dawn is what I need to read. I also know I have some pre-orders coming up, so I know that I have one by Leigh Bardugo. I think it's The Familiar is coming up. So whenever those get delivered to me, because I pre-ordered them, I guess they will just either go in the TBR jar or I'll just read them immediately when they come out. We'll see how that goes. Oh, you know what I really wanted to read was the Fine Print series. And that one's on KU. So that one I almost walked out of the store with, and then I put it back. Okay, I think this might be it. So let's cut these up. I feel like I could for sure use some more romance suggestions, so please send them. I think I actually have okay, I might have a ghost. I don't know if that picked up on the mic, but something just completely fell off of my counter. Like completely fell off. Like a pen was sitting there and just completely fell off. So that was kind of creepy. We'll see if that picked up in the audio, because I had a couple things go missing yesterday. And my friend was joking that I had a friendly ghost that was hiding things from me, and now I'm a little creeped out, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't really feel like going to look right now, to be honest with you. So we're just gonna keep cutting these. Oh, what I was gonna say is I need some more romance suggestions, and I swear I had another Rebecca Yarros. Maybe it was The Last Letter. Maybe I'll write that down and add that. Okay, I think that's all for now. So I'm going to go ahead and fold these up and put them in the jar. By the way, if I decide to read any like self-help or nonfiction, I'll just use the other category. Okay, some of these are already coming apart. So my suggestion to you, if you do this, is to fold them really tightly because I can already see some of them. So I'm just gonna have to go in like really blind and not look when I pull them out of the jar so that I don't accidentally cheat. So that's my advice to you if this is the first time making a TBR jar, is to just fold them tighter than you think you need to. Okay, so there is my TBR jar. I'm definitely gonna have to figure out a way to mix these up because the genres are not evenly distributed. Okay, that's not gonna work. I think what I might do is I might put like a stick or something and kind of mix them around after this, because otherwise I'm just gonna have to reach in and really reach around because fantasy is dominating this jar, but that's okay because I do love fantasy. That's fine. I'm gonna put When the Moon Hatched. I will just put that one, like maybe I'll tuck it in this top little piece of the jar because I really kind of want to read that one next. I was thinking about, started Never Lie. So it's either gonna be Never Lie or When the Moon Hatched. Never Lie is somewhere in there. And then I'm gonna cut up some extras just so I have some paper for when new books come out or when I get new book suggestions. So again, if you didn't see one in there that I should have in there, please comment it below. Or if you did see one that you loved, please let me know because then I'll be extra excited to read it. Okay, so now I will have extra pieces. I will find a little cute thing to put these in so that way I've got them and I can add to this easily. So my advice to you, if you haven't made a TBR jar before, are to give yourself enough space to write, because I didn't on some of those, and then fold them more tightly than you think you need to. And also maybe put them in at the end so that your first genre isn't dominating the entire jar, but that's okay. I think this looks so cute. I'm so excited to use it. If you made it this far in the video, comment one of those little book emojis, and please make sure you subscribe so you can see me reading all of these books as the year goes on. And I was going to show you this cute little reading journal, but I think I'm going to put this in a different one because again, this is just getting way too long. But when I get to pull something out of here, then I will get to tape it in here like a cute little scrapbook. So thank you all for following along with me as I made my TBR jar. I'm so excited. This was honestly such a peaceful, nice activity. So if you don't have one of these, I highly suggest making one. And thank you so much for watching.